We got a big audience out there in Cali. I think they might be a bit worried. They might be a tad worried because Rob G in our pre-show meeting, usually talking all that jazz, all that smack, all that trash about his Lakers. He was very low key, shall I say, in our meeting because some think the Lakers may be in trouble. They lost 114 to 106 last night to Denver. Let me just state for the record, I don't think they're in trouble. I think they're in a series. Yes, and I'm glad they're in a series. I actually hope Denver wins the next game. Then we really got some spice. And I picked the Lakers to win in 6. That means they're going to lose twice, according to me. And so I firmly believe they're the better squad. I firmly believe they'll be in the NBA Finals. I firmly believe they'll win the championship. But they are in a series, Rob. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk. You're supposed to have challenges. You're supposed to have to look inside yourself and see what you're made of. And now, up 2-1. Some would argue, particularly Jamal Murray, the star guard for the Nuggets, he thinks Denver should be up 2-1. So let's see what the Lakers are indeed made of. Rob, am I off? You think they're in deep trouble, or where you at?
I'm not saying deep trouble, but to poo-poo Denver, given their track record and how they play when they're behind, and no lead seems to bother them. And let's face it now. It's not just this playoff series where they came back from 3-1 against Utah and the Clippers. Last year, they also played 2 series, 7 games as well, just missed the Western Conference Finals. So they're used to doing this. They play this way, and all I'm saying is for people to act as if this is no big deal or like they'll win their game or two. Just be careful because this team doesn't seem to go away, Chris. They were down 2-0. Some people were saying Anthony Davis stole their hearts right after that shot, that they might come out and
which
be
I
like.
thought was ridiculous.
No, I did too, given the history, of Denver.
I mean,
but some people, that's what they were like. Oh,
they're their hearts? Right.
Right. Oh, they're done. Oh, yeah, they're just going to stick a fork. They know they can't win now. Really? It didn't look like that when they were up by 18 or 20.
Right.
They looked pretty good to me,
Absolutely.
and I know the Lakers made a closer game and made a run in the fourth, but they never overtook them. And I'm just saying, it's so I cannot discount Denver until people extinguish them, because that's their MO, Chris, for 2 years now, that they're a tough out. And you know what? You said 6, might go 7. I don't know. But I think
if it goes 7, Rob, all bets are off.
If it goes 7, right, you would say like they have a shot, right? A big shot.
That's why when you were off last week, George Reister, I call him George Wrongster, was in for you. And
that's funny because Nick Wrong does first things first, so it's kind of the same thing. Okay.
I was arguing, we argued that, and I know in most cases, the overwhelming majority of cases, the best team wins a 7-game series. But I do think every now and then, the best team doesn't. Like, I think the Clippers were still better than Denver.
No doubt. I agree. And they didn't win.
And when a series goes 7, it's anybody's ball game. If you want to tell me the best team always wins when it goes 5, obviously when it goes 5. When it goes 6, I'll even go with that. But once it goes 7, we've each won 3. Who's hot that night? Who's not, the lights aren't too big? Who doesn't feel the pressure? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many other factors that come into play, because then it becomes like March Madness, Rob. Right? Then it's like one and done, and anything can happen. So,
and the pressure to me wouldn't be on Denver; it would be all on the Lakers.
Absolutely.
They would be the ones that oh my God, are they going to lose? They were up 2-0 in this series. Do you know what I mean? They have LeBron James. Oh, Anthony Davis never made this next step. Oh my God, LeBron looks old. Is he going to make shots? I mean, all of a sudden, all these things come into play. And if you're the Lakers, I mean, if you're the Nuggets, house money. House money.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, interesting. You mentioned that, you kind of just threw it out there. LeBron looks old. Well, some people are thinking that, Rob. And I got to admit, when I was watching that game last night, let's give him his props. 30 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. The first Laker, this is huge. I mean, I don't want to make too much out of it, but this is a big deal when you're considering that you're playing for the franchise of Magic Johnson. LeBron is the first player in Lakers history to have two 30-point triple-doubles in the same postseason. That's impressive. And last night was his second one, so give him props for that. But if you watch the game, now if you wake up in the morning, you didn't watch the game, you were watching Billions or, whatever last night instead of the game.
Or the Golden Girls reruns, right, or something, right?
Like Rob was, no. But you wake up, you look at the box score, you think, okay, LeBron did his thing. It wasn't LeBron's fault. But when you watch the game, you'll see, Rob, I don't know if you saw this on Undisputed this morning. This is how misleading those numbers are. Shannon Sharp, do you want to guess what grade he gave LeBron for the game?
A.
C-.
Oh, did he really?
Shannon Sharp, right? The president
LeBron
of the LeBron James fan club.
Exactly.
Yes.
See, I thought it would be the other way around. I'm stunned by that. Oh,
Skip
stunned.
actually gave him a C+. Shannon gave him a C-. I probably would have gave him a C or a C+. Maybe a C+.
I would have said a C.
Yeah, because he was tremendous in spurts. Third quarter had a big spurt. They closed the gap some. Fourth quarter's tremendous early and midway through the fourth, and he almost closed the gap completely because he was playing so well.
But at the end, when they needed him to close the deal and finish it off, he couldn't do it.
He didn't do it. And Rob, at times, and I don't know, I may have never thought this about LeBron at this point. He looked like he was showing his age at times. And usually LeBron puts his imprint on the game. He controls the tempo. He controls the pace. He didn't do that last night. And I don't know. I'm not going to call it.
We're going to get into that later, though, right? Like the bigger picture with LeBron. Is that what
we're getting into that now. Okay. We're getting into that now. Yeah, I'm not going to say after one game or even 3 games in this series that the age is caught up with him. There's no way I'm saying that after just a few games. But CBS Sports is kind of saying that. They wrote an article. Here's what they're saying. In the last 4 postseasons, LeBron's played at least 40 minutes a game. 14 times. He's played 40 minutes or more 14 times per postseason. This season, he's only done it once. Now, some of that you could argue they've only had, they haven't really been pushed. They had 2 5-game series. So I'd argue that could be a factor more so than LeBron's age. But here's a telling one, Rob. LeBron he seems to be like the second halves he struggled. He's shooting 65% in the first halves, but only 42% in the second half of the playoffs. That's a huge
drop off. Just
right?
Not that he's going to stay at 65. I get that, but to play that well and then all of a sudden have trouble scoring, not
he's
making
0 for
baskets.
6 in clutch time moments. So last 5 minutes of a game, close game, 0 for 6.
Now that's bad.
And right, so do you? Like I said, there's no way I'm saying that right now. It's just too quickly. I mean, Houston, he looked great. Portland, he looked great. The regular season, he looked great. Maybe it's a tough matchup. Jeremy Grant's athletic. I'm not saying he's Scottie Pippen, but he's long. He's athletic. He's young. So that could be. He's a tough defender. Mike Malone's coming up with some nice schemes. Heck, Mike Malone came up with the scheme that made Kawhi look pedestrian. Paul George looked mediocre. You know what I mean? So Denver plays some good defenses that they throw at you. I'm not ready to say LeBron's feeling his age yet. Are you?
I think it can happen overnight. I don't think it's a gradual procedure. I think it can happen. I think there are times when you look at it. I'm just saying
you're absolutely right about
it's
that.
Usually, that's all I'm saying. It's not normally like a 3-year erosion.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's just one day.
It usually kind of happens though. Like you had a good season last year, you come back and you're just way worse. You know what I mean? Like I don't know
what
how
I'm
much
saying.
I've seen it in the middle of a season. You know what I mean? Or a series.
It can happen though.
Right.
So I don't know.
Agree.
I'm just those numbers should be worrisome. Those numbers, and that's what you got to look at, because he's put up some big numbers in the playoffs, but these other numbers say something else is happening. So I just wonder when the games come down to it, does he have enough energy? Is he still all the way there? I don't know if the focus, to not be making any clutch.
I certainly don't think there's a focus problem.
I'm just saying, what could it be? That he's not when they need him most, especially after putting up such big numbers early, and they needed him. They needed him to finish out the job last night, right?
You know this, Rob. One telltale sign of age, like when you get older, what you can't be anymore is consistently great, right? You can have great night. Heck, Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his last game. Now, the uninformed might look at that and say, what? Kobe should have kept playing.
Yeah, on 50 shots.
Right, well, yeah. I left that little detail out.
Yeah,
but still,
I know you left that
you know
out.
what I'm saying? Like, you can have you could bring Dwayne Wade back, and once every 2 weeks, he might be able to have a really nice game. You know what I mean? But he can't do it consistently. And that's and again, I'm not saying LeBron's reached that point, but obviously he hasn't been the consistent dominator in this series thus far that we've grown accustomed to seeing.
Maybe LeBron needs a bran muffin in the morning, and that'll keep him.
Hey, you damn kids, get off my lawn!
Alex, you know what I'm waiting for. You know, I'm gonna see
CB,
if you know
can.
it. He can't find it. Everything.
I like bran muffins.
You like it?
They're
you
so
like that
bomb.
joke? Oh my God, that
They're
means it's definitely time to break. It's definitely first. That's only the 34th time on the show that Rob said that joke.
I like the
you
joke.
Know that.
It's a funny joke. It works.
But do I have to hear it every 3 days?
Yes. If there's a spot I got to fit it in, I'm going to fit it in.
Is LeBron showing his age this postseason?
Let's kick it off with let's go with Marty in Kentucky. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
Hey, guys, I've been missing y'all. Glad to talk to you this Worship Wednesday.
Yes. What's
Good to
going
have
on?
you on, Marty. As always.
I have been on a night shift. I had to change shifts so I could be Rivers' online teacher, helping learn online during the day. So I haven't been able to listen live very often.
I think I would say every 3 days. I thank God that my kids are older and like I don't have to teach them at home.
It is hard. People have no idea what teachers have to go through.
Right,
It's
and when
hard,
you're
Marty.
working full time and
It's
you still
hard.
got to teach them, like God.
Yeah.
So more power to you, brother.
I'm just, I'm blessed to have him, and regardless of the situation, I got a lot to be thankful for.
Oh yeah,
Amen.
no doubt,
Amen.
no doubt about
But
that.
I don't catch the show live very often, but I'm listening to the podcast, and I'm glad to talk on this subject because I think LeBron's, the way he's taking care of himself is going to cause his decline on age to be more slow than most people. Most people fall off a cliff. His is going to be gradual because he takes great care of himself. And I do believe that he's really great when he's well rested, and he's only great when he's not well rested. And I think that shows his age because used to he was really great every game.
Right. What do you make of the numbers, Marty? 0 for 6 in crunch time. What do you make of those?
I mean, that can happen to anybody.
I don't think that's
but
age.
he's one of the,
I think that's just
what is that? Just
be off.
Even I've missed 6 shots in a row before in my life. I mean,
all right. That's where the conversation
I wouldn't be
ends. Thank
surprised
you, Marty.
if LeBron has stretches similar during his prime. You know what I mean? Like that can happen. I don't think that's age. Now, if you want to say maybe is that fatigue? Okay.
Well, but that's
that
what I'm
might
saying.
be the case.
That's the
possible.
part of it. Yeah, the fatigue part. What about Max in Georgia? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Max?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good to talk to you.
What's up, bro?
Yep.
This, for me, is kind of one of those things. I think we've been seeing it. We're just now really seeing it. The bubble's really kind of exposed a lot of things about the league and a lot of things about LeBron in particular. And I think when you look at even the early games against the Raptors, against the Thunder, teams that have athletic, long, and guys that want to get in the paint and stop him from that freight train to the basket, if he doesn't have that anymore, his athletic ability, he can't do those things, and he doesn't have a set shot really. If he's not hitting it from threes, he's in trouble. And I think if he doesn't get a nice mid-range game here soon, I don't know what he's going to be doing. I've said all year he should retire at the end of this year. He won't do that. Yeah, I think so, Chris.
I think he can run the point. He doesn't have to be the old LeBron James to run the point and give you 20 points and, 10 or 11 assists tonight. And AD's the man. Like, AD's now, if AD is your best player next year and LeBron's running the point, giving you 20 and 10, I think that's enough for the Lakers to contend.
All right.
But that's not typical LeBron James, you know
Thanks,
what I'm saying?
Max.
But that's still good enough. Wow.
Appreciate it.
I
Mark
don't
in
even think you
Sacramento.
think that, Rob.
No, I'm not there yet. Not yet. Mark in Sacramento, you're on the Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
What's up?
Real quick, before I get into LeBron, I just want to pay a little respect to the great Gale Sayers, who was my dad's favorite player, and I just want to say God rest Gale Sayers' soul.
You know what, Mark? 2020 has been awful. You know how many legends we've lost this year?
Can't count.
Just
Can't
it's
even
unbelievable.
Count.
I know. Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll tell you what I saw. Denver decided, first of all, after that emotional win 2 days ago, the Lakers couldn't get that high again that quickly, and Denver came out and just ran like roadrunners. And remember, LeBron had to score the first 10 or 12 points just to keep them in the game, and then Denver kept that pace. So I think that took an awful lot of – and they got behind by 20 points and then cut it to 3.
Right,
so I think
from that.
Yeah, he was tired. I agree. It took it out of them trying to just come back. And Denver just put the pace on them, and they were a desperate team who didn't want to go down 3-0, and they're not going to die. Them in Miami are like Freddy Krueger, man. You got to kill those dudes because they're going to keep coming at you. They're going to keep coming at you.
Can you imagine if it's a Miami, Denver NBA Finals?
It's not great for ratings.
No. But I'm just saying. But it could be really exciting. Out of the bubble. It could, you know what I mean, Chris? Like it could be because there's no home court. They neutralize other teams.
And that's another thing about Denver. And you know this, Rob. Denver's got one of the greatest home courts in the league.
No, big time.
In sports, just because of the altitude and stuff.
Yep.